To us.
Right. All right, guys, we apologize. Well, I apologize about that. I don't know what's going on. It seems to be more on my end than anything else this time around, but I definitely apologize. But wanted to hop on and just for a few minutes tonight. We won't be long with everything that's been going on, and I know there's a lot of various like high school graduations, sporting events, all kinds of things going on tonight in the community. But just wanted to take a minute and. First of all, acknowledge and remember, and of course, thoughts and prayers um, go out to the families. I mean, we have the shooting in Buffalo. There was a shooting at the church. Shooting in Texas. There was a young man that lost his life in a shooting in Jacksonville yesterday. It's just it's heartbreaking. I mean, there's no other way to really say it. The only thing that I guess if I could make any kind of plea would be that we stop with just the thoughts and the prayers and start doing something. Um, something's got to give. There's got to be some kind of change. Just like faith without works is dead. Prayers without works are dead. Thoughts without works are dead. We have to do something. We have to become vocal at the very least. We have to. The first thing I did yesterday was call my son. My son's 18 and doing his thing, and I still called him like it was the first day I dropped him off at preschool, and my yeah, I get choked up even thinking about it now. I couldn't imagine being one of those parents, um, right now, and it's frustrating because we have we have a cycle in this country, and it what's up, boss? How you doing, Larry? Thanks for hopping in. Um yeah, Big Black. Um we have an unfortunate cycle in this country where we something happens and then it blows up in the media for a minute. We have our little Facebook debates, point the finger at everybody, and then go back to everything being quote unquote normal until the next tragedy happens. And then we start the cycle all over again, but nothing really gets done. There was a senator representative. I don't even really know exactly who it was, but apparently blaming cross dressing on the reason that the shooter clearly he had problems and that's why he shot up the school, and just the level of ignorance that people in leadership portray, the people that are actually the policymakers. We can't teach our kids about our true history, the true racist history of our country, but these 18-year-olds can go out and purchase their rifles. We had not too long ago the governor of Texas, talking about how, and it was some time ago. It wasn't, yesterday, but it was some time ago where, a tweet was, oh, we fell behind in gun sales to California. Come on, we need to pick up the pace. Like the level of ignorance that we have is embarrassing. Our leadership in this country is it's unfortunate. I don't even know what to say. As a combat vet, as a military veteran, someone who absolutely loves and adores my country, I'm sickened, saddened, and embarrassed by my country right now. And these things happen, and we get caught up with political and religious ideologies, and the right, just, oh, don't, we're not going to take our guns, go ahead and try to take our guns and see what happens. And then you have the left that's wants to go to the other extreme, and everybody gets caught up with the political ideologies and the religious garbage and bull crap, and nothing gets done because it becomes an us versus them. And the, well, we have the right to bear arms and the Second Amendment, and first of all, it's taken out of context. The whole purpose of the Second Amendment isn't so you can sit in your house with 37 assault rifles. Um, yeah, and I'm not against owning guns. Please don't understand me. I'm not against owning firearms. I'm not against responsible gun ownership by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, don't misunderstand me, but it might be unpopular. People talk about gun control won't do anything. It's strictly mental health and it's a sin problem. It's a heart problem. Okay. I don't necessarily agree that that's definitely part of it. But with the ease that we have access to firearms, these types of things are just going to keep happening, unfortunately. A friend of mine from Florida shared, and I'll have to get the link and share it. But he referenced Australia and the steps that they took in light of gun violence, and they passed legislation. I want to say back in '96, I think it was, if I remember correctly, and they've had, I want to say, one or two instances of any type of mass shooting since then. Um, the blueprint's there. We have to get outside of ourselves, and it's not just in reference to gun control or gun violence, but the racist undertones, the way that we play these political games, this garbage of replacement theory. um, and then even with the shooter in Buffalo, from what I understand, is only getting charged with one count of murder as opposed to 10.
I
He
didn't
was
hear
only
that.
Yeah, I read an article yesterday about that, and
Jeez.
I didn't go validated, unfortunately, because I was kind of distraught and emotional about the whole thing. I was just talking to my dad earlier. You have these individuals, some of these individuals, these elderly individuals, what they've already lived through, the racism and what they had, the hate that they had to endure throughout their life, and for that to be the way it ended, going to the grocery store and getting shot by a white supremacist is heartbreaking. It's sickening. It's not often I'm at a loss for words, and with these situations this last couple weeks, I definitely am. And the words that I do come up with aren't, they're explicatives, really, and they're not. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, because I wish I had the answers. You know what I mean? I wish. I'm so tired of it. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm drained. I mean, we had a school board election here, and individuals that got elected had a clear history of racism and bigotry, and at the very least, their words. Um, but that's what areas like this get behind, and they are breeding grounds for that type of thought process. And it's like there was a pastor that went ahead and jumped into a minor's DMs, or messenger on Facebook or whatever, to give them a lecture about something, and as if that was okay. But if it was someone of the Muslim faith or someone from the LGBTQ community that dropped into somebody's messenger or DM that a minor and give them a lecture about something, it would have been the end of the world. But it's
Called them a
okay, because
terrorist.
it's a Christian pastor, so it's okay. Like the hypocrisy and the ignorance is mind boggling to me. And you've got that clown Locke, talking about, oh, if you vote Democrat, then you can't be a Christian. You're a demonized baby butchering, like, it just, the level of ignorance that's coming out, and the fact that it's allowed, and the fact that my faith is attached to that mindset is sickening to me. You're right, Larry. It's very frustrating, and I can only imagine what other people go through dealing with this stuff. And I just my heart breaks, man. I know I'm just kind of rambling, but I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired of the like fraud, right? Let's election fraud. We'll go full circle with everything that's going on. Oh, there's all kinds of election fraud, and the Democrats stole the election. Well, that's funny. Funny in Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure it's Pennsylvania, um, where Oz is running, right? Isn't that PA? Ain't that your
It's right where, um, yeah, Oz is Pennsylvania,
right?
and I don't even
And
know if that's all settled yet. Is it?
what I don't know if it is or not, honestly. I know they were talking about mail-in ballots, but as of yesterday, and the day before, Trump was telling them, "Oh, just declare victory," and making comments about, "Oh, they're trying to find ballots and find votes and all this other stuff." And it's like, bruh, it's the Republican primary. So you're telling me the Republicans have been the problem with the fraud the whole time? Because nobody else is screaming fraud. So just if you lose, that's the answer to losing. Like,
Mhm.
and so many people get behind this, and so many people make excuses for this white supremacist domestic terrorist that shot up, and killed those 10 people in Buffalo, or this clown down in Texas. And they just it's infuriating. It really is. It's infuriating. I've watched intelligent people become stupid.
I was saying when you were disconnected, um, that all I have all I have is mourning right now. It's just sadness. But what bothers me the most when things like this happen is the political grandstanding that happens, as
Yes.
opposed to focusing and thinking about humanity and how we can live together better.
Mhm.
Instead, there are a lot of people who take it as an opportunity to gain some ground, whoever it is,
Mhm.
whatever the topic is, and you can tell that the
Yeah.
focus is on selfishness and pride, as opposed to actually trying to solve an issue
Mhm.
or actually trying to move forward and preventing these kind of things. Um, and that's why it's cyclically temporal. Why nothing permanent gets done,
Yeah.
because somebody gains a little ground through this process, great, but getting the job actually done loses you votes, loses you likes, because half you're abandoning half of the population, or part of the population that thinks different from you. So all you got to do is grandstand for a while and then not move on with it, and you keep gaining ground. It's just it's nasty,
It really is, and it's like
nasty.
it's become this us versus them type of process and mentality, no matter what the topic is anymore. It's us versus
Yep.
them, us versus
Yep.
them. And at this point, like, first of all, we should be able to feed our kids, and secondly, we should be able to our kids shouldn't have to go to school worrying what's going to happen. It shouldn't. Life's too short to live like that.
Yeah.
And I wish to God, I wish I had the answers. I wish I could fix it all. But it's just like you said, the political grandstanding. That's we're going to deal with that for a while. And I just I don't even know what to say, man. My heart breaks. My heart breaks. This country's become such an embarrassment. Honestly, like I'm embarrassed this country on so many levels, so many different reasons, so many different things. And I I just know we've got to start getting involved, and we politically, like, somebody put a post up and it's like, I send thoughts and prayers because that's what I'm capable. Other than voting, I can't affect policy, I can't affect change. Well, I don't think that's entirely true. um Obviously, I think that we can definitely affect change with our votes. Definitely, and I think that's one thing that we often forget. But we focus on the wrong people sometimes. Like, we're so focused on the presidential election that we forget the people that really make a lot of the decisions are the same people that have been sitting there for 10, 20, 30, 40 plus years. You want to change something, you need to change the policymakers. That's one aspect, one thought process. The other is to get vocal, do get involved, to get involved on a local level. If you can change things in your local area, your local community, then you can change things in the city on a larger scale. If you can change your city on a larger scale, you can change your state. If you can change your state, you can affect the country. And I honestly believe we have the ability to do that if we just got vocal, if we stood up, if we got involved, if we just respected each other. Just because, if I say, okay, so let's make America great again. Okay. Now you hear that phrase, and somebody that loves their country, man, they can get behind that because the country that they live in, they want to be great. Like I would want, yeah, I want America to be great. I want America to be prosperous. I want America to be, that beacon. I want it to be an example. Right now, we're an example of what not to do on
Yeah.
so many different levels. I mean, even Canada has started preparing for the essential collapse of the United States. They actually have a task force set up to strategize and plan with how they'll approach and act if the United States collapses.
Hmm.
And to be on that level, of another country's radar like that is worrisome. But so you hear that phrase, and so you can understand why a lot of people would get behind that. But because I don't get behind who coined the phrase or the group that's pushing the phrase, all of a sudden I must not love my country. Or
Right.
because I think there needs to be a different process to purchase a firearm, all of a sudden I'm not a patriot and don't love my country. And
Right.
and it's foolish to think like that. Like, you and I can both love this country and have differing views and learn how to come together and find some kind of common ground. And that's really what we need to do. We need to stop doing this us versus them foolishness. It's heart wrenching.
Everything you're saying is true. It's uh, it's not like we react to anything, or we react to this any different than we react to anything in this country with laziness, undisciplined, um, and irresponsible tactics, and it's tough. And the um, people who get hurt the most are children in elementary schools and
Yeah,
innocent people in churches just getting shot up by assholes.
yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Well, we got to do something, and as a people, as a country, something's got to change to get us out of this cycle. The it's I don't even know. And you would think one of the places that love would start would be the church, but the problem with the church in America is that it's the American church, and so it's more centered on its own ideologies than actually operating within the realm of scripture, which is gut wrenching to me.
Yeah, I heard you say that earlier this week or last week, and it's true.
So I
So
just, thoughts and prayers are great, mourning, sympathy, but if you were able to do something, we need to do something. Something's got to give. Um, you know,
yeah, that's all I got though. That's all I got. I'm sad. I don't know how I could have stopped these people.
hmm
Uh, but my direct, like I always say, the people that I am in direct contact with, and the immediate area that I live in, my township or my county, or my city, uh, I can make large impacts on the network of people that I interact with.
hmm
And if
that's
we
where we got to
just
start.
if we do it with humanity on our minds as opposed to our grandstanding, like I
hmm
said earlier, then we can impact long-term change by the butterfly effect, I suppose. But if you're not doing anything, then you won't affect it. 100%, you won't affect it if you're not doing anything. That's part of the problem. Do one little thing at a time. Don't be afraid to have compassion and empathy for all kinds of people. It goes a long way in them also showing that same kind of empathy and compassion in their conversations and how they debate with others and who they or how they can interact and have an impression on. I mean, I think we've said things like that about 100 times in the past 3-4 years, but yeah, that's all I got.
Definitely agree that, got to do something, even if it's something small. Your circle of influence is where you got to start, definitely. And for those that don't know what to do, there's nothing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with thoughts and prayers. Please, don't understand me, because sometimes, that's all you have to offer in the moment. And obviously, thoughts, prayers, condolences, um, go out to those families and loved ones. Um, I want to encourage you that we can make a difference, even if it's small, even if it's in our own community. But that'll begin to spread. If we, I want to encourage you, or um, I want to encourage you not to do this us versus them, and get so far to the left or so far to the right that you can't have conversations with people, that you can't approach things differently. Um, with that being said, not going to keep you all tonight. We just wanted to, would have been a little longer, a little more in-depth conversation. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, so definitely apologize about that. But hope you guys have a wonderful evening yourselves. Um, shoot us shoot us a message, some topics you want to see us cover in the future. Conversations you want us to have and get involved in. We definitely want to. But congratulations to all those that are graduating, that are moving on to
Yeah.
their next level of life, next level of school. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts to all the teachers and individuals that were involved in the education of our young people. Definitely thank you for the time and effort that you guys put in, and definitely respect what you do. And other than that, hug your loved ones. Don't hold grudges, 'cause you never know what's going to happen. Pick up the phone and talk to
Yeah.
them. Let it go. It is what it is. But at least let the last conversation be a positive conversation. If at all possible. So, with that being said, I think that's about it for both of us. I know I'm kind of choked up myself talking about this, so we're gonna let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your night and this evening. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, send us any topics you want us to cover, whether it's on House Call or on the Reflections podcast. And of
Hmm.
course, like, share, tag somebody, share the page with somebody, and we'll continue to. I say this on the podcast: you pray for me, I'll pray for you, and we'll catch you next time. Y'all have a good night.
Night.